B2Gold is looking to expand their operations in Namibia. The company this week released a preliminary economic assessment for the Otjikoto mine, which focuses on the Antelope deposit, where a proposed new underground mine is set to bolster the production profile of B2Gold within the country by the end of this decade. All right, folks, let's dive in. Yes, you heard that right. B2Gold is working to extend the life of its Otjikoto mine, which evidently comes just in the nick of time. For those new to the story, Otjikoto in 2024 was the second largest mine operated by B2, with guidance calling for midpoint production of 195,000 ounces of gold. But the mine is nearing depletion. This year, guidance is calling for midpoint production of 175,000 ounces, down 20,000 ounces, putting Otjikoto in third place in B2Gold's portfolio, behind Fekola in Mali, which is set to have about 530,000 ounces of production, and Masbate in the Philippines, which is set to have about 180,000 ounces of production. And Otjikoto's place in B2's portfolio going forward only gets worse from there. Open pit mining operations are expected to conclude in the third quarter of this year, while underground mining at the Wolfshag deposit, part of the Otjikoto complex, is slated to wind down in 2027. While current exploration suggests a potential life extension to Wolfshag, nothing yet has been set in stone. Processing operations, based on current models, are expected to extend into 2032. However, production is expected to be dramatically reduced from current levels. Like we said, the mine is depleted. But then there's this PEA. This new preliminary economic assessment focuses on the Antelope deposit, which was discovered in January of 2024. The deposit itself consists of two known zones, Springbok and Oryx, while a possible third zone, referred to as Impala, also may exist. Given the short remaining life of Otjikoto, B2 worked fast to delineate the new deposit, with 36,000 meters of drilling conducted last year to establish an initial mineral resource. That resource outlines that at least 390,000 ounces of gold at a grade of 6.91 grams per ton exists within the deposit on an inferred basis. Despite the size, the short timeline to mine exhaustion here clearly influenced B2's decision to proceed with conducting the PEA. And that decision has evidently worked in B2's favor, with the assessment released this week outlining a net present value of 131 million US dollars for the deposit and an IRR of 35% on an after-tax basis using a 5% discount rate. The study, which is based on $2,400 an ounce gold, has outlined an operation that would see an underground mine constructed that is expected to operate for an initial 5-year mine life. Average annual gold production over that time frame is estimated as being 65,000 ounces a year, with a total of 327,000 ounces of gold expected to be pulled out of the deposit over the life of the mine. In terms of costing, pre-production capital costs are estimated at $129 million, which is expected to be paid back in 1.3 years. All-in sustaining costs of $1,095 per ounce over the life of mine are projected. Well, this figure is higher than the current guidance for 2025 of $980 to $10,040 an ounce for the Otjikoto operation. At least the complex will continue to produce, which seems to be B2's main objective. Free cash flow over the life of mine is expected to come in at $185 million. Obviously, the proposed mine benefits from some synergies here, given that Otjikoto is still in operation. First, the Antelope deposit is just 4 kilometers to the southwest of the current open pit that is being mined, and the deposit falls within the existing mining license area, which means permitting is largely covered. Second, the deposit is expected to take an initial 3 years to develop the mine, including portal excavation and construction, decline development, and installation of services. The current underground mining team at Wolfshag is said to be able to handle both the development and the operation of the mine. Obviously, this construction and development timeline complements nicely with the remaining mine life of Wolfshag as it currently stands. Third, underground gold production from Antelope can be blended with the low-grade stockpile feed from Otjikoto, enhancing the current production profile. Antelope is currently envisioned as beginning production in about 2028, and it's expected to bump average annual production at Otjikoto to 110,000 ounces per year from 2029 through to 2032. And lastly, given the proximity to the current operations at Otjikoto, B2 won't have to spend money developing a camp, workshops, offices, and the other supporting infrastructure required for a mine, which is all a bonus and contributes to the profitability of the proposed mine. So where do things go from here? Well, despite the model resting on an inferred resource estimate, B2 looks like they're about to proceed anyways. The company has indicated that they plan to spend $10 million this year on site de-risking the development schedule of the deposit. That means early work planning, obtaining project permits, and yes, making those long lead orders. The company is also set to conduct geotechnical, hydrogeological, and metallurgical testing over the next several months as they work to advance things while also planning on further exploration. The exploration budget is currently pegged at $7 million, with the program focused on infill drilling at closer spacing to confirm resources, along with step-out drilling along strike to extend the deposit to the north and south. A total of 44,000 meters of drilling is planned for the deposit, while B2 is also going to look to connect the deposit to some high-grade drill holes they had about a kilometer south of the current open pit. B2 is currently looking to add between 80 to 90,000 ounces of annual production to Otjikoto from 2029 through to 2032. And while the current PEA may not provide that 65,000 ounces a year on such a small resource estimate, it is certainly a strong start. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, subscribe, or ring that notification bell. Also, if there's stories you want us to cover, please let us know. Thanks for watching, everybody.